I think it's so beautiful that we can do this, and every time I'm in LA, I run my mom on Yardtsite. It'd be beautiful.
Wish you long life. So sorry, I miss Sharon so much.
Post him on the Facebook.
Yeah. It's a little video.
There's another picture. Where's my other picture?
It's going down that way.
What? Okay, I understand.
Okay. The two sisters should be sitting next to each other. Sorry.
Has anyone seen this? Parents live on Sharon Should I speak to here and then we can go back here? I wanted to recall what I wrote on my mom's gravestone because I put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into it. It is. I'll show you guys pictures afterwards. It's a really beautiful gravestone, but I think what I wrote on it, I don't think anyone here was able to see it, so I want to recall it, and I think it speaks to a lot of my mom's virtues. So, in the first half, it has some quotes from Aisha's Chayil, and each one of them had a lot of meaning behind them. So it says, Pia patra b'chachma v'torah chesed al hashana, hamu b'nei v'yeshua, isha yirat Hashem hi titalav. And then it says, beloved mother, daughter, sister, friend, and teacher, a woman and mother whose kindness knew no limits. Her life was filled with a deep love of Torah, mitzvot, and Eretz Yisrael. So, the first part, Piach Patcha B'Chachma V'Torah Chesed Al Hashana. V'Torah Chesed Al Hashana. Her mouth opens with wisdom, and the Torah or the teachings of kindness are on her tongue. Everyone that knew my mom really knew the virtue of kindness that came from her teaching. She always loved to impart her wisdom to others. She always loved giving advice, and I don't think it was ever selfish advice. It was always just advice to help other people. Oftentimes, like we'd be sitting at a Shabbos lunch, and the conversation about education would come up, and people. She would always be trying to help people with their kids, trying to help. Trying to figure out how their children can be educated properly. And I think that was really beautiful. Which means her children will rise and celebrate her. Even though I was her only child, I know for a fact that all my children and hopefully their future children will all recognize my mom for her greatness and be able to celebrate my mom. So even though it's the plural, even though I was her only direct child, her grandchildren would be helped, exactly.
Even if they don't know her, they are her children.
Exactly.
She taught many children, generation of children.
Exactly.
And also someone's teacher is considered like their parents.
On her Facebook, she's Facebook friends with all these students that she had, and I recognize them. And they all look very successful, and I know these people for a fact. First she taught at a school that with children that were kicked out of normal school. They brought a weapon to school or whatever, and she would help them from the very damaged state that they were. She would help them, and her main goal was to try to get them into college. She was a high school teacher, and she tried getting them to graduate. And we attended a lot of graduations. And there's a lot of pictures on her Facebook of different graduations because that's what she wanted. And these people look very successful now. And then for the past 7 years, I think, she was teaching at a school for kids that had too many health problems to be able to be at a normal school, and that she helped a lot. A woman in awe of God, she is one who should be praised. She was always a very firm believer in God and very strong Judaism. And I've learned a lot about her history throughout life, and she grew up from, and she's been through a lot, and she really found wisdom behind teaching the Torah and God. And then obviously, beloved mother, daughter, sister, friend, and teacher. Mother, she was the best mother I could have ever asked for. Daughter, it's always a difficult thing for someone to lose a child, but my grandmother really misses her as a daughter. Sister, she has two sisters and a brother. Friend, close to you guys. I mean, all of you guys. Not, these guys are sister. You guys are friend and teacher. Again, her students. Shengel Fega Bat Nafka. Okay, sure.
Amen.
Raising you.
I'm so thankful to you. The Sobels, you guys have been my second family. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And I know that I mean, both you and Sky have helped me since day one. I mean, thank you so much. You know, she would have, if she knows that you guys are helping me so much.
She knows.
So.
She does. She definitely
Bye, Linda.
Bye, Linda. Wish you long life.
Nice to see you again. I paid over it. As I said, you didn't hear me, Mom. I did it. I took care of it right from the beginning.
The whole family. Thank you, Linda.
I actually stopped for gas in my life because I paid over it. Maybe I'm a millionaire. I don't know.
Me too, I get gas.
Many times that we spend a lot of our time, Sharon and I, doing walks with my animals and talking obsessively, nonstop about our children and how they were everything to us. And I know that Sharon would be so proud. These are the things that she talked to me about. These are the things that she wanted you to be, and more. You know, you surpassed that. You know, she dreamed that you would be this kind of a person with these values and this bigger heart. And you know, everybody loves you. You know, Sippy just asked me, does he have one? And I said, oh no, he is loved wherever he goes. He's loved, and everyone adores him and loves him and watches over him. And really, you know, I know that your mommy would be so proud of you, and we love you very much. And thank you for bringing us together because we love Sharon and it makes us real close to her.
You know,
Yes, thank you.
say something too. I came to know Sharon better after she moved to the Rexford area, and a couple of years before she got sick. And as a musician, I was able to, you know, get that side of her that she really loved to hear music and what she learned. My son is a flute player. He went to concerts, you know, with me. I did a show, whatever she went, and she just enjoyed that part of her life. And in everything that is said about her in terms of the kind of mother she is and was, is totally true, because I have never known anybody that gives this kind of food to a mother year after year, and will continue to do so than him, really. And I have one more little thing to add, because she loved certain songs, and in her honor, I just want to play one that is from West Side Story, and it is called There's a Place for Us.
I know the melody. Can I sing it?
No,
Yeah.
I always love Vera's violin playing. I hope the restaurant people
The Fiddler off the Wall. Here I am.
No extra charge. They get music, no extra
No
charge.
extra. Yeah, this is a
Take the
song
phone off the
called
hook.
There's a Place for Us.
It's actually
And I know
called
there is-
Somewhere.
there is-
It's
Somewhere.
actually called Somewhere.
In any case, I'm sure there is a place that she hears. I want to believe.
What?
Este vehículo es con pitches bags? Yes.
It's just Aviv.
Wow.
Can I speak for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you, Vera.
really
It was
love
beautiful.
You're always faithful and lovely. It's really beautiful.
Off of Aviv and of Vera. Aviv mentioned before about his mom being at a Shabbos lunch or just in a crowd where a conversation would come up. And I relayed this to you actually a few times. We were actually at Mrs. Stern's house one time, which we were often, and we would, as fate would have it, we'd always end up near each other or talking to each other. And we were talking about, we were talking about singing and getting yourself out there, and I was relaying about Lucy and Desi, actually, and how nobody wanted to give Desi the part in I Love Lucy because he was Cuban, and the network wouldn't buy into it, so they put their own act together and toured the country, and they said, if CBS won't give us a job, we'll give ourselves a job, and that's what they did. So Sharon said to me, that's what you have to do. She said, well, that's what you need to put yourself out there, and you need to give yourself a job. And in that time period, that was maybe 3 years ago, that's exactly what I've done. And you know, it was from a little conversation at a Shabbos lunch that put the bug in my head to do that. And Vera just mentioned about Sharon's love for music, and again, as fate would have it, the last time we saw each other in person was she came to hear me at an open mic. It was just maybe 8 weeks before she passed away. And when she came in, I was going to do something else. And I said, but then she decided to come, and she drove herself, and she walked in. I said, what do you think I'm going to sing tonight? Within 1 second, she said, If I Were a Rich Man. Because I had sung it a few months before at Aviv's party, and Vera played. So anyway, just to piggyback on what they said, you know, since that time period, I've pursued more in that field than I ever have, and I just wish she were here to share it and to be the front row center in the audience.
Yes.
I guess she's in the better audience.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't really like Gary's going to Gary's open mics and hearing him sing always. I mean, I grew up knowing Gary like since I was very young, and always. And
this was in the final months of her life. We went to about 3 or 4 of them. You know, and she really pushed herself to go, and people were shocked. You know, like because in that world, you become very close with each other, and you know what's going on in people's lives. And it was, you know, because she looked so beautiful that night, you know, it was just so hard to believe. And anyway, but she really enjoyed those events.
Yes.
She's always doing things for other people. She never stopped. I mean, she could hardly she's unbelievable. She would keep going. It's after me.
That's true. Just a lot of life and a lot of new experience. And I was just telling Aviv also she had an effect on me because I'm not very adventurous. There are a lot of things, they're so nearby. And I just never think so. Even also when she was having trouble walking and breathing, it was at an art show. I don't think there was an art show in La Brea. I never.
She always forced Paula to go.
She said, wait, and I say, what is this? It's like an avant-garde thing. What am I doing here? But it was actually very interesting. And you know, and I heard it. I can't hear about this from right now. I'm blanking out, and everyone's like impressed that I went. And they only know the reason I went was because Sharon told me about it, and I was exposed to it. It was actually a lot of fun, and also just going places like nature places. She took me hiking. I mean, I stayed on a regular road. I didn't go as far as she did when he was a baby. She had taken him as far as in a stroller, but I didn't make it that far. But we then on the way back, let's stop at the beach. Let's just go out and sit on the rock and watch the tide come in. And like it's that appreciation of every moment of every day. And I think I hope I will remember that. But Sharon's voice also. Sunday is fun day. When Aviv was growing up, she always, and she, no matter what her other duties were, she always found time to do these things. And she mentioned there were people she knew who had much more leisure time. And they said, I'm too busy. I can't take my kid. And suddenly she's like, what are you talking about? And she would go. So I got to be the beneficiary of that also. Like it was I probably told this, it was like July 4th weekend. And there was something at Chabad of Carlsbad or something. And there was sort of advertised they're going to have a hot dog, barbecue.
That's when I biked in.
That's when you biked in. He had biked with a friend to San Diego and to Tijuana, I think, which blew my mind. And she, first of all, that you said about her being such a wonderful mother. I mean, letting him have the space to do that. So we went down there, and I said, this is crazy, holiday weekend. She said, no, I'll drive. She let me drive. Well, Alexis, actually, it was just really a lot of fun. And Prius, I'm sorry, Prius. I knew what it ended in as. But anyhow, we went down there, and she was right. I mean, the traffic wasn't a problem. I saw this place I'd never seen. We met Jews from that area, Chabad, we'd never saw. We had a barbecue there. And then and we stayed over. It became this whole thing, and it was entirely due to her. And I would never have done that. So she opened me up to a lot of things. I hope I don't lose that, because that was, for me personally, that was
She lived every day.
It's just to ride on that. Like Paula has these gorgeous redwood trees growing outside in her front yard. And these huge redwood trees. It's amazing. You can see them from all across the area. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But so we I'm sure everyone knows the redwoods. That it's up north in Northern California. They're indigenous to there, and they're huge and they're amazing. But so one time we went up hiking there, and I bought a little teeny plant like this tall, a little baby redwood tree, and I planted it in a pot, and I forgot to water it after a week. But my mom kept taking care of it every single day. She watered it. She made sure it was nice, and it grew from this tall to this tall. After 2 years, and then after 2 years, we were supposed to plant it. So she was looking around, we were trying to figure out where to plant it. We were thinking of planting in Paula's yard because she figured, if these other trees grew for be that tall, maybe our tree can. But so then we decided we're going up to visit the Strausses, who most of you know, in Northern California. So we, Mom's like, let's just bring it back up there, let's bring it home. So we put this redwood tree in our back seat, and we drove all the way up there. And when it got dark, because it's illegal to plant foreign plants in a park there, but we did it anyway. I mean, it's not like an invasive species; it's endemic to there, but whatever. So we drove into this park. We went in with a shovel. We dug it in, and. It was really that was the classic my mom experience. I did, sadly, because we went at night, towards the end of the day. It was hard to figure out where the sun would be. And then when we got there, when I went the next year, it was very wilted. And then I actually uprooted it and put it somewhere that is sunny, because they need sun in the first few years. And then when I went back, it was gone. But it had a chance. It had a chance. And the best part was, because it was on the side of our apartment building, when they repainted the building, it got a bunch of paint on it. So it had a bunch of little white spots of paint. So when we replanted it in the park, it was in a grove of a bunch of other redwood trees. She's like, all right, let's clean up the paint so the city boy can be with its rural friends. So we were scratching up the paint off the leaves so it could fit in.